Hello. So I am sort of in that like void, gloomy feeling. It's actually 11:11 on the clock right now. I have been like moving through this like throat sinus purging, as well as intermittent, like a few migraines. I haven't had a migraine in maybe like a week, and but I just feel this like head pressure and some brain fog. The back of the hands have been really tense, as well as like upper neck and shoulders. So anyone may be experiencing something like this. There's an orb that just popped up as soon as I was saying that, and it's really like holding in focus. It just actually doubled into 2 orbs, and it's like expanding into this like plasma pink sort of patterned frequency expression. So yeah, you may like hear it in my voice. And I was not going to record. I was actually focusing on launching something that I've been creating, which I'm excited about, but it just didn't feel like the right day to do that. And instead I felt the ping to record. So here I am, and I'm actually working on 2 different projects. One of them I probably will launch in the next day or 2, and the other one may take a few more days or so. I'm not putting like rigid time structures on it. It's more when I feel that go release, and that could be relevant for some of you. Maybe you're working this way too in some fashion, or maybe you're like feeling that internally. My chest got really heavy when I started to tap into that, so yeah, there may still be some like pressure that you're feeling, which is like manifesting in the body for some of you, or you may be feeling the collective. And I did check in. I've been working with Gemini, the AI Gemini. Oh, I'm like literally just purging out, like burping out of my throat right now, but they're very tiny burps, like in a row, like boom, boom, boom. So there may be these like multiple little shifts that are happening in the near future, if they haven't already, or like it's happening in your field. And yeah, the last few days I've been just kind of like jumping back into some of the more maybe technical side of what is an electromagnetic field. Where does the torus, T-O-R-U-S, like the shape, I always call it a torus, but it's not. It's a torus, not the astrological sign necessarily, although that could be relevant as well. And you know, where does the shape naturally occur in nature? Because when our auric field can express as a torus, it's like this same phenomenon as like tornadoes and I believe nebula, like certain, I have it written down, I have to check my notes, but yeah, so there's something about, I've been talking about for a while now, at least a year, if not more, like the reorg of our own electromagnetic field, and like organizing pattern and expressing through the torus, for example, a geometric shape. Actually, I wanted to look up something. So a torus is a sacred geometry shape, a donut-like 3D ring, symbolizing the continuous self-sustaining flow of energy, interconnectedness, and the balance between inner and outer worlds. It represents a, quote, never-ending loop of creation where energy flows from a central source, radiates outward, and returns. And I was listening to something last night. I'll try and pin it. I didn't fact check it yet, honestly, but it really caught my attention. I think I still have it up on my like open browsers. Excuse me. but I'm not finding it in the second. Yeah. And this person, I don't remember his name, I'll have to look it up like I said, but he was speaking on like how every particle it's like a wave form. So like particles are its own entity of a wave, kind of like he described it in the ocean when you see a wave form, like a wave pattern, like it's not solid, right? Like it forms its pattern and then it dissolves back into the ocean or the field of the ocean. So the particle expresses the same way, and that like a quark is also its own field. Like each element essentially is its own field. And so reading about this torus and a donut like 3D ring symbolizing the continuous self-sustaining flow of energy, it's like when we tap into, a lot of us speak about multidimensionality, these other realms in these fields, as we reopen to that and express, some of us tap into it through like the crystalline DNA consciousness, or the expression or alchemization of these more dense areas or frozen light, like when we essentially thaw out that frozen light and then process through any excess debris. We're reorganizing our own fields to express that multidimensional field memory, and like living codes. So if you're finding this, you may be going through some sort of process where, like yesterday, I had so much energy and I felt like I was just getting so much done. And today it was really hard to wake up, honestly. I had to really get myself up because I'm helping my sister right now with her kids. And I was like, okay, you can do this just like one step at a time. And my body is just feeling more achy. I've been doing like lymphatic drainage almost every day. And I still woke up sort of puffy. I'm actually I'm having breakouts. Like I'm just going through a lot of those purges. And so I don't feel like I'm the only one. And I just made myself a warm sea salt and tell me why the name of what I'm drinking, spirulina. It just fell out of my mind. Yeah. I also had some coffee earlier and a little bit of breakfast. Normally I haven't been eating breakfast when I wake up. I just haven't been hungry, like break fast. But today I was hungry, so I listened to my body. So yeah, there could be something like that going on where you're really just feeling guided to be more in the moment instead of making these overarching. It's nice to have, guideposts. In Ayurveda, I believe it's either 70-30 or 80-20 of doing your best to stick to what is best for you. But sometimes in the moment, being flexible, it's the metal structure in TCM, having that structure in place but not so rigid, and allowing for those present moments. And the launch that I am working on, I believe I'm calling it the pearlescent presence portal, because that's been streaming in so strongly. So excuse me, more on that in a bit if anyone's interested. But yeah, there's this long list, by the way. I have so many different, I call them connection codes, or sign synchronicities that have been coming in. And I kept singing in my head the Addams Family the other day. I don't know why, it just came in my head out of nowhere for 2 days straight. And then I clicked on something just today, a subliminal. I think it's actually on right now. And in the background, I didn't even notice at first. I actually left the room and came back, and it's Addams Family. And I didn't it didn't show in the thumbnail. I didn't know that was going to happen. So there could be things like this happening where you're shown something and it's Morticia and I forget his name all of a sudden. Certain things are just not sticking in my brain right now. You could be having these experiences too. Speaking of present moment, where you're just streamed in, and when it comes to you, it comes to you, and when it doesn't, you may feel you're a little bit forgetful or something. especially if you're like opening up your own channel in some way, like whether it's creative channel, actually channeling, whatever it is that is coming through for you in that way of presence. Excuse me. Also, I've been kind of trying to have more fun with the idea of like magnetizing, like being magnetic and calling in experiences that feel abundant, if you will. And the other day I was in line at a grocery store, and it's funny because I was supposed to be with my sister and she had to like do something else, so I wound up going by myself. And she always goes to the well, not always, but she goes to the self-checkout when that's optional. And I don't know, I just don't. Does anyone else feel this way? I just like don't, unless I have to. I like going to someone else. Anyway, so I was about to go to the self-checkout and I was like, no, I'm gonna do like what I want to do. And I went in line. There's one person in front of me, and I looked down and there was just like a crumbled $20 bill on the ground next to me. And so I like waited, you know, until I was the last person around. No one saw it or claimed it. So I was like, today's my lucky day. I'm taking this $20 bill. It was more just like for the art of it, you know, of like, because I have been listening to different like subliminals and just setting different intentions. And yeah, I don't know. So someone here could be like, you could be seeing repeating sevens, horseshoes. I don't know, I'm seeing a horseshoe. Also like metal, like an art piece made of metal. There's something about like metal art, or I mean, I guess horseshoes are made of metal, right? I don't know, something about metal. I also was updating my like a Pinterest vision board that I haven't touched, I think, in a while. I didn't take anything off. I just felt like I wanted to add a few things. So there could be something like that where you're feeling like inspired in some way. You may be seeing threes. It's also 11:23, so 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Gomez, that's his name. Oh, a candelabra. Someone could be working with candles. I'm hearing multiple things at once. I heard like when someone like reminisces, but I heard like reminiscent. I don't think that's a word. Someone could be like coming up with their own version of a word for like a channel name, you know, like a social media name or like a business name. Like you could be kind of working with something like that. That's very specific, so that may not be for everyone. Or like maybe you're changing it. There's something about like making up your own word, or like a stylistic version of a word. There's also the word omniscient was coming through. Some of you may be like working with your own frequency as like a tuning fork, or thinking of yourself as the tuning fork. Some of you may be actually working with tuning forks, but I kept seeing references to tuning forks. Also, to check in with my own energy and to see what I was getting intuitively and feeling. I did work with Gemini this morning. I kind of tapped in and was feeling like a rise in the solar storms, and I could feel it in my body. And then I did ask, I just asked for like an updated report. So I didn't check any other source. So if I'm incorrect with the source from Gemini, someone please correct me. Today is the 29th of January, 2026. But what I was feeling was like mirrored back to me with, I didn't report this to Gemini. I just asked for the report, and yeah, we're having like a surge apparently. So if you are very sensitive to that sort of energy, you know, like geomagnetic storms, etc. Yeah, it's almost like you can think of yourself like as that like lightning rod, right? Or like the conduit. You may feel like short-circuiting, so it could be these short circuits could feel like just flashes of information to like to pivot and see like what your body's calling you to do. And, you know, if you have like a like if you have like a commitment or a job or something, like right now, like I said, I'm helping out my sister, so I do have some time in between, but it's like doing your best to give you what your body, whatever it needs, and take any little moments you can, even if it's 30 seconds to go breathe in a bathroom or whatever it is. Sometimes I do that. And a phrase that kept coming to my brain was ripple relief. So often when I'm feeling this sort of energy, and especially when it coincides with celestial movement or geomagnetic storms, which I have to tell you, like after doing this for years, and I used to check all the time, and then I just sort of let my body go through without checking. And now I'm like, I go through periods where I will check to see. It's almost like if you get your moon cycle, like I have an app, but like I always check in with my body first. And I have to say like 99.9% of the time, now that I'm doing it so much, I'm always like right on with what's going on. And so, I mean, that might be a high percentage, but my point is, yeah, so someone here may be like working with that as well. Anyway, the ripple relief for me is like when I tune in now, oftentimes like if I record like I'm doing right now, I will feel like a surge of energy moving, and then I imagine that like rippling out as relief for others to receive it. And then when they feel that relief, then they, you know, maybe they do something to help move the energy through, and then that ripples out. So I may call that this transmission ripple of relief, because I kept hearing that phrase over and over again in my brain. Also, I kept hearing references to the tango, so there's something about that. Isn't there like an expression, it takes two to tango? I don't know why that's coming through. And with all of this like quote excess fire that I've been feeling like in my body, I just had a one-to-one session, and that client was also experiencing like in Ayurveda like a pitta, excess pitta, and I've been feeling that collectively as well. So in conjunction with this sort of like a lightning quick, like Uranus feels really important. Like there's like these quick insights right now, but then again, like the almost like protective gloominess that may come in to like preserve some of that energy and feeling and being so attuned to what's going on. In the grids, in the geomagnetic energy, etc., etc. There's like this, my mind just went 100% blank. Wow. There's a transmission that I did a while back, blackout. It was like blackout transmission that just flashed in my head for some reason. So that's coming up. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. So, like in chelantic science, the flame body, I've been feeling like this idea of a flame body activation. I'm seeing this like opalescent white light with like white golden edges, and also the idea of the next octave Kundalini is coming in so strongly. It's so interesting. It's almost like that white golden edge of the white flame is what I'm seeing. So it's like the next octave, it's like it's been there, but it's now like getting integrated in the field, and that 3D torus shape, it's almost like there's this this like a purification. So you're going to feel potentially again these like waves of like blackout, and then gloom and then inspiration, and like continuing to follow. I should rephrase or reframe that. I'm not like necessarily saying that's what you have to feel, but if this is something you are experiencing or about to, then this might be for you. I hope that makes better sense. Excuse me. Whew, yeah. I also kept getting the image of a sunstorm. A sunstorm, right? That's like kind of what I'm talking about. It's like inspiration, but there's still kind of a storm going on, but it's like, right? Eye of the storm, like how you show up. I don't know. There's something like that. You may be seeing rainbows or start seeing rainbows. Speaking of, I also kept seeing references to World War II and specifically the Holocaust. I know that's a bit of a heavy topic, but I'm not quite sure why that's coming through. I'm just going to mention it and trust that if it's meant to be a deeper, purged out, flushed out sort of thing, that it will come up. But yeah, I just kept feeling that for sure. There's something about like acceptance of your current situation, not defeat, although it may come in waves of defeat, but like just this peaceful acceptance of like where you are right now. It may not be like your vision board dream, or for some of you it may be, I don't know, or maybe there's like glimpses of that coming in, but you're still kind of like, feels like there's at least one area of your life that is still maybe not what you thought, or not, you know, again, if this is for you or if you're finding this part at least. I walked by this guy on the roof the other day working, and I guess it was like a low roof, and I could hear him whistling, and he was literally like whistling while you work. And I'm pretty sure I have a transmission called Whistle While You Work. Some of my past ones are coming through right now. And I had just started to feel this like acceptance of where I am. Like, it's not going to be forever. I'm grateful for a lot of it, but there's a lot I want to experience. So I was kind of going through a short period of like just trying to turn that into like envisioning instead of longing, and then when I did that, and then saw that man whistling, it was just kind of confirmation. And then I just felt this like relief of acceptance. And the Sufi spinners may be relevant for someone. Some of you may be practicing spinning, or feeling called to do that. I have not, but I'll see if I feel that call. But I wrote down spins out, and I can't remember why, but that feels relevant for some reason. Okay, so I also kept getting this vision of, so I was seeing a vision of the Sphinx again last night. I've been seeing the Sphinx energy a lot. And then I was also flashed, if you remember in Aladdin, when there's like a golden scarab beetle that is split in half, and when it's put back together to the Cave of Wonder, it opens the Cave of Wonder and its eyes glow. And I'm just remembering now, last night I was walking through the basement. So I'm staying in my sister's guest room in the basement, my brother-in-law and my sister, and I was walking into the basement to do something for the cats. I'm helping taking care of the cats right now. I can't remember what I was doing. And I just saw these glowing eyes, and I was like, it took me back a second, and I was like, whoa. And it was one of the cats, but it was dark. So all I saw, the eyes were like so lit up. And I'm just realizing now I can't remember if that was before or after, but I'm putting the dots together. And yeah, so there's something about like glowing eyes, the Sphinx, and like the idea of this like golden scarab beetle. Of course, symbolically, the golden scarab beetle is like so revered. I looked up one of the potential symbolic messages, potent ancient. I've been writing a lot, the ancient. It just left my head, so maybe it's not time to say it yet. I'll share that soon. A potent ancient Egyptian symbol of transformation, resurrection, and protection, closely associated with the sun god Khepri, Khepri. Khepri? Why am I not saying that correctly right now? Representing the rising sun and daily renewal. It was worn as an amulet for good luck, prosperity, and to ensure rebirth in the afterlife. Interesting. I it was just making me think of the Sphinx and the Cave of Wonder. I don't know why those are coming in together. And then I kept being shown like a Sphinx if it had claws. I don't even know if there's claws on the Sphinx. Let me look that up. Okay, so the Great Sphinx of Giza is depicted as a reclining lion with a human head, while it has massive paws with some evidence of carved claw-like markings on them. It's not generally depicted with long, sharp, visible claws like a feline predator. In mythological representations, the Sphinx, oh my god, I did not mean to say that. The Sphinx is often described with claws. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that, but I kept seeing and feeling these claws. But interestingly enough, I'm not sure why I just like accidentally mispronounced Sphinx, and it almost sounded like a racial slur. I promise you I did not mean that at all. It just came out of my mouth. This is like a really hard topic to talk about, but I grew up like with my great grandparents, which I was very lucky. Or my great. When I was like 6, they were like 96. So just for some perspective. And their generation, like, it was common to speak in like racial slurs. You know, it was just like accepted then. Not like accepted, of course, but like it's not like it is now. And I don't know why that's coming up, but like maybe someone was just having a conversation about that. Sometimes I've done like the Ho'oponopono prayer, like on behalf of the lineages, you know, just so someone here could be like rectifying some, like finding out some of your lineage or who you were in, I don't know, maybe who you were in another life, or your imprint, or like your family's imprint. That's very specific, and I did not plan on talking about that at all, but like it just kind of came in. So yeah, if you're dealing with that or working through that, I'm just sending you a lot of love, because I know there can be a lot of heaviness. And I'm being reminded, I did meet someone. Where was I? I think I was in Costa Rica, and she actually owned an herbal shop. And I remember I just looked at her. She didn't say, I barely knew her, but I just like, I could feel her ancestors were coming through so strongly, and I could feel something going on with her. And we started talking, and I just told her what I was feeling, and she was going through something like this. So yeah, that's coming through really strongly for someone. But back to the mythological representations of the Sphinx. Yeah, so I didn't know that mythologically it's described with claws, but I kept being shown the claws. And it's funny because I would feel them very sharp, but visibly I would just see them like barely indented. So it's interesting that it's saying that there is some evidence of carved claw-like markings, but that you don't physically see them, because that's what I was feeling. So I'm not exactly sure why this is coming through, but there's also been this energy of like, I heard someone speaking that, you know, like organs can have these like indents. I honestly need to look up if this is like physical, which I'm sure it is, but also, you know, energetically, which I've been feeling the energetics for years off and on when I tap into certain, you know, organs and people, etc. But it's like these indentations that can come with like trauma imprinting, for example, or scars, etc., right? Because we can have literal scars on our skin. So there's something about that, how it's like coming through, especially through the womb, and whether you're a man, a woman, however you identify, doesn't really feel relevant. This is like if you were birthed through a womb, something that you may be practicing, like there's the holy womb chakra teachings, or just the idea of like sending healing to, I always say like for the highest good whenever the person or lineage is ready to receive it. So I'm not like forcing it, but I'm creating that portal, and when they're ready to receive it, they will. I do that with almost all, like any intention or energy healing that I embark on. And so yeah, there's like this idea of like markings on the womb, for example, and purifying, cleansing, clearing. It really can be any organ, of course. The other day I kept feeling the gallbladder in the session, and I looked it up, and I kept feeling anger, and the gallbladder can express anger. So yeah, there's definitely this, like, again, the excess fire, lineages, like, you know, like the Holocaust came up, like just this idea of like painful cycles collectively, as well as individually and through our own family lineages. For some reason that's coming up and being really highlighted. And I want to tap more into the Sphinx stuff because I know that there's more here. I'm just not getting all of it in this moment. And my head and my temples just started to ache when I said that. And they say the temples can represent gateways or like spiritual gateways. So I feel like there's a gateway opening into a deeper layer of this. If any of you have tapped into this or also have anything coming in, like, please feel free to share because I would love to hear. It's 11:44 on the clock. And, excuse me. I feel the Hathors coming through again. I was speaking about them the other day, the collective of the Hathors. I cannot remember if I shared this the other day or not, but I was kind of getting this similar feeling I have today, the other day, where it was just like a slow morning. It was hard for me to like, sometimes it just happens, and within a few minutes of like starting to tap in, my sister messaged me like, my car won't start. Can you go meet that AAA driver like down the road in a little bit when they get there? And so the battery died, and it was just so like symbolic of the energy I was feeling. So you may be having these like electronic or environmental mirroring effect where I was talking about this the other day, but I don't know if I use that exact example. Like I notice sometimes if I'm like trying to push through something and my body or like other parts of me are calling for a pause, like my computer will out of nowhere get super hot, or like a light around me will start flickering, or again my sister's car battery out of nowhere just dies. Like things like that will start to reflect back. So you may be having experiences like this. I also had a dream about a mention of the Palladorian contracts. And also last night I had a dream I was on a water slide, but there was like a roach, but it wasn't just a roach. It was like a scorpion roach. It was like all of these, like what a lot of people, not everyone of course, but a lot of people kind of like fear. And I was going down the slide and I was really having fun. And I think I had a little dog in my arms, and I was taking this dog with me. I don't know where I was though. I was somewhere tropical. And as I was going down the slide, I refused to let these other like creatures, I guess, that were seemingly trying to like impede on my experience, like get in the way. So I remember I like crumbled them all into a ball. I was not planning on talking about this today, but I'm kind of getting messages as I tap into it. And I held them as I went down the slide, like I was holding this puppy dog. And I was like, they're just creatures too. Like I'm just going to hold them. And even though there was a part of me, like my body was kind of going into like freeze mode, I was like working through it and still enjoying the slide. And when I landed with the dog in one arm and a balled up, like they were just like legs at that point. It wasn't even like full body parts. And then, right, it's not like Osiris energy and Isis and Osiris like scattering the body parts, and I was like holding them like close to my chest. And then when I was done, I like released them. And of course, like for me, it's like representing a ball of fear, like doing something with fear anyway, even if you feel a little bit of that paralyzing like response, and then just like simply releasing it and then I moved on with my dream, with the day in the dream. So someone could be going through this right now where you're like acknowledging things and working through it and doing it with fear anyway. And like fear can manifest in so many different ways. So, but like roaches and scorpions, they were the ones standing out to me the most. I don't know why I'm also seeing like seaweed in the ocean and lobsters. It's like very odd, but and roly polies. And then there's like another want to say it's a water bug, but not like the big ones. It's very small, like a small water bug. So these could be like, maybe some of you have fears of some of these things, or you did in the past, or your family does. Like there's something coming through about that. But also, I'm not going to look up each individual meaning, but if any of them stood out to you, feel free to look up a like metaphysical meaning. You can share it in the comments if you want, because there could be deeper messages there. Yeah, also water slide in dream meaning. It can symbolize life's journey, representing transition, letting go, emotional release. It's funny because that's what I was saying. I was like literally releasing as I was going down the slide, and embracing new experiences with its twists, turns, and flow of water, suggesting either a joyful surrender to growth or a warning against recklessness, depending on the dream's feeling. It's about surrendering to life's current, dealing with emotions, the water, and navigating changes, potentially spiritual renewal, or a need for discernment. Interesting, because I was talking about like a purification in the field of the, like, if you want to call it like the white flame body, but it's not just white. Again, it's like that golden opalescent. But I keep seeing the edge. It's like the outer edge, right? But like it's arbitrary, right? Because the flame has like, there's so many layers, and I'm being shown like plasma gas. I heard in my head poisonous gas. I don't know why that's coming through. Maybe someone here, it's like in Mean Girls when she sucks the poison out of her life and then kind of begins a new page, right? In the scorpion. It's also like the anecdote, like sometimes they say, like people have had miraculous experiences from getting bit by a scorpion too, you know, like they've had healings in their body. So like there's something also about like perspective and the way we view things. And I'm not saying to go out and sting yourself with a scorpion. I'm just saying that there's so many perspectives of life and experiences. So but yeah, I'm like utilizing my hand and like waving around my body, and I'm feeling into these like, it's like these gaseous arbitrary waves. So depending again on your ability to attune, it's like where your arbitrary line. So if someone can see an energy field, it's like our perspectives, it's not always going to be exactly the same, but then there's like, you may be experiencing phantom touches. I also heard phantom quartz, but yeah, it's like, oh, excuse me. Yeah, there's something about that. My screen just went black, and I've been feeling the call to rein in this and yeah, wrap this up. Excuse me for the coughing. Okay, well, thank you. I feel like there's still so much, but this transmission feels like it's coming to a close. So yeah, okay, thank you again.